What is up, guys? CSX8600 back here with another mod spotlight review. Today we're going to be looking at the mod Railstuff, which is another mod I made. So the first thing I want to point out with Railstuff is that this is a work in progress mod, which means that it's not entirely done yet and is not to where I want it to be before I can say this mod is finished. So right now what we're going to be looking at is just the first features that this mod is showing. So the other thing I want to point out is that I'm going to be continually working on this mod until it's finished, and then I'm going to loop back around to my other mods and make them better. But this one is going to continue to get some more updates until I am completely satisfied with it. So with that said, let's jump right into Railstuff and see what it has to offer. So the first thing we're going to see is this rolling stock assigner item. This is made with 2 iron ingots on the left, 2 iron ingots on the right, 1 on the bottom, redstone in the middle, and a gold ingot on top, and that is going to give you your railing stock assigner, and we will talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. Next up we have the paperwork item, and that is going to be just 2 pieces of paper anywhere in the crafting grid, doesn't matter, that'll give you your paperwork. Next up is we have our signal, so this is going to be 3 iron ingots across the top, and then around the right side as well. We're going to have a redstone lamp in the middle and then a glass pane in the left center. It'll give you your signal. Next up we have the manual switch stand. This has red wool in the top center, iron ingot in the center, and an iron block in the bottom center. Next up we have the red flag, which is going to be red wool and an iron ingot in the bottom left. The yellow flag is a very similar recipe. That's going to be yellow wool and then a iron ingot in the bottom left. So the green flag is just as similar. That's going to have a green wool in the bottom center and then a iron ingot in the bottom left. That'll give you your green flag. And lastly, we have the blue flag, which is going to be iron ingots in the bottom center and a blue wool in the center. That's going to give you your blue flag. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this blue flag might look like when you are actually using it. So the blue flag is usually used on the railroad to indicate that this equipment is being used or is being unloaded or whatever. Rail crews should not take this car or touch this car in any way, as that is going to cause a problem. So we put up a blue flag to say, hey, you need to stop. So this will work in all 4 directions. It sits right on the rail like so, and that is how the blue flag would generally look. So the other thing is the paperwork. So you can see if I hold this paperwork, we get this UTLX 204455 that sits on top, and we get a blue line that goes into the tank car. This indicates that this is the assignment or identifier for this rail car. This can make it a lot easier if you got a bunch of rail cars that all look the same and all hold different things but gotta go to different places. So this is a good way to identify it. So how do we set this up? Well, I have a hopper car over here and I have a switcher here, and I'm going to show you that this works on both locomotives and rail cars. What you do is you take the rolling stock assigner, that's what I have in my hand right now, and all you have to do is right click on the rolling stock or the locomotive. So this one, say I'm going to call this one NAHX 480347. Once I click save and I hold my paperwork again, you see that that appears right above the hopper car. Now you only get these when you're holding the paperwork. So if you want to see what these assignments are, you have to hold the paperwork in your hand. So I'm going to show you, I can also name locomotives. This can be really helpful if you want to have different locomotives for different assignments, but you can't tell which is which. So this one I'm just going to call like the WC 1500 or something. I'm going to hold my paperwork again, and that is going to show all 3 of these things. And the signal is the last thing I want to show off. So this is the signal. You can see I have no redstone power to this, so if I apply redstone power, it switches to green. So how do we do that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place down a signal, and it'll face whatever direction you're looking at. So if I do, this way, it's going to face towards the direction I was looking at. So I'm going to put one on this side of the track, and to set this up, I'm going to right click anywhere on the signal, and it's going to show me an unpowered aspect and the powered aspect. So unpowered, I could say I want this to be red, and then maybe when it's powered, I want it to flash yellow. So this is dark, which is what it shows right now. We have red, flashing red, yellow, flashing yellow, and green. I'm going to make this flash yellow when I have it powered. So I exit the menu, and I get a red signal. I'm going to put down a lever, apply some redstone to it, and we see it starts flashing yellow. And then if I take away the redstone again, it goes back to red. There's a couple other things on here. We have a signal name. Now, this isn't very important for this first release, but it is going to be important for in the future when we have different occupation blocks and different kinds of things that signals can do. So I'm going to call this one just a test signal, and we can see that it stays here. And we have this button on the far left called manual. These are going to be the different signal operations in the future. Right now, the only operation is manual, which means that it's only going to do things when you apply redstone power to it, and then these are the aspects that are just going to show. So that is all I have for Railstuff. This is the first iteration. It's a work in progress mod. Expect to see a lot more. Oh, one more thing that I would like to show off is, so I'm going to place down, I'm going to go into my track blueprints here, and I'm going to place down a switch. I'm going to go in here, select switch, and we'll make this 40 and 90-degree turn. It's just fine. So I'm going to place this down, and I'm going to place down my switch. So I'm going to face towards it. So if this red plate is facing you, that means that the switch is going to be turning to the left. Now, it can mean whatever you want, but generally in real life, you will have the plates indicating that you're going to be turning or not. So when I right-click on the switch, we'll see that the lever goes up, the switch turns, and it goes back down. So now you can see that the plate is now facing me, and I can see that the switch is now lined to go to the left. And if I want to line it back straight, all I have to do is click again, and the lever will go up, the switch will turn, it'll go back down. So that is all I have for Railstuff. I hope you enjoy this and continue to look for more updates in the future. If you have any suggestions on different kinds of rail-style cosmetic things that you'd like to see to assist with your immersive railroading, feel free to let me know, either in the comments in this video, or you can go onto the CurseForge page and suggest anything you'd like. I'm very open to suggestions, and I would like to make this as realistic as I possibly can. So thanks again for joining me, and I hope you enjoy it.